No way. Mimicry just released an English version of their own song, "En flicka som är stark." That's I'm sorry for my Swedish pronunciation, but that's exciting. I'm definitely gonna have to listen to that. But that's not what this video is about. So what I did was I had previously gone through and created some snippets, and then I ran them through a natural language processor, and I figured out what the most... Sorry, let me get rid of that. I figured out what the most common words were, and then I went through and I extracted the first 200 nouns. I think I vetoed one or two of them because they just didn't seem like they belonged in a language learning program, at least not at the earlier levels. But for the most part, I kept the 200 words. So yeah, you can see the snippets here. These are my snippets. Boom. There's quite a few of them. So we got book, corpuses. I guess they're in alphabetical order. Well, there's a lot of snippets. That's the point. So let me close that. So what I did was I collected all of the nouns and I spit them out like this. Here, we can get rid of this. And so this is the thing that makes it so it only shows about 200. Exactly 200? Yeah, exactly 200. Yeah, so it spits out nouns like this. And then I went into ChatGPT 4 and I asked it to, it was a work in progress, but I told it to add adjectives, so it came up with a brief time, a diverse people, a new way. New way? What's this about a new way? But anyways, a few of them were kind of stupid, but for the most part, they're pretty good. And yeah, that's been a big struggle for me, is knowing which words go together. So what I'm doing is, I recorded this in a previous video, but this basically just sends prompts to ChatGPT. I'm using a 3.5 model because I don't want to go bankrupt. So I asked it, I said, write a simple 4 to 6 line story that a 6th grader could understand about whatever's in the list. Avoid starting with once upon a time, because every single prompt it was giving me was starting with once upon a time. And I don't mind it a few times, but I don't want every single story to start with that. That's a little bit silly. That's like if you're reading a very young children's fantasy, or you know what, doesn't have to be very young children's, but it's just, I don't know, it's overly historical and fancy. It's just not how normal people speak if they're telling a story. So how do I get back to, oh, here we go. So in the classroom, Sarah loved to draw. One day the teacher said, "Today we'll learn about undivided attention." Sarah stopped drawing and listened carefully. She looked at the teacher and didn't get distracted. Sarah gave her teacher her full attention, and it made everyone happy. So, very, very short, very, very simple, and I think that these could be useful for learning a foreign language. Everything I've ever tried to do that just teaches sentences, they have no context, and it's just, it's a nightmare. I mean, I don't want to learn a bunch of sentences with no context, so I don't know why somebody else would want to. All right, so what I need to do is I need to go through these, all of my, there should be one called news stories. So here's the stories that I get, and they're just plain text like this. Is that the exact one I just saw? No, it's not. Yeah, so we need to get the parts of speech, and I'd like to make a method that does that, that's idempotent, so that I can keep running it. If I generate new stories, I can run it again, and it won't repeat the work that I've already done. So let's see here. os.list directories. I should have add parts of speech to raw dialogues. Oh, that sounds like what I want. Is there a more recent one, though? Nah. Well, it's close enough. All right, add parts of speech to raw dialogues. I don't want to modify this because I might use it again, so let's find the original. Add parts of speech to raw stories. That's even closer to what I want. So we have directory, raw stories, and this is expecting it to end with JSON. So let's call it, I don't know, new raw stories. Oh, this is how I get so many files. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. It has to end with txt. List files in directory. List. No, we want list all files in directory. Txt or JSON. The JSON is going to be the parts of speech. The txt is going to be the raw text. All right. Oh, God, it's kind of lagging, but that's fine. That's weird. This shouldn't be processor intensive. Oh, well, whatever. Okay, text or JSON. Okay, if current time minus file m time is less than 10, then time.sleep 3. Ah, yes. I did this for this exact reason. It's because if I'm right in the middle, then one of these files might be open. I don't know what the probability of that is. It seems pretty low, but I don't want to take the chance. So I just wait 3 seconds. And moreover, if all of the files are older than 10 seconds, then it doesn't wait. So, yeah. So list all files in directory. Okay, we can probably close this. All right, so all items equals set of list all files in directory. It doesn't need to be sorted. I don't know why I sorted it. Okay, doing file. Okay, no. If file name, if.txt in this ends with .txt, then continue. Now, if file name dot okay, JSON pair file name equals file name dot replace dot txt with dot JSON, right? Okay, so if JSON file pair name in all items. Okay, and this is going to append the directory name, right? Let's see here. Yeah, it joins. Okay. If JSON pair file name in all items, then continue. Continue. And let's just make sure nothing weird is happening. .txt not in JSON and .json in JSON pair file name. Okay. So that should spit out a JSON file that's basically the same format, but it just has a different ending. So doing file, read. Okay, now this is, all of this is proprietary, so it's going to be encoding equals UTF-8 and okay, this is what I want, so I don't want to just blindly delete everything. We want all parts of speech. Oh, do we want to put them in order? Before, I was just all about, which part of speech where, and I wonder if we want them in order. You know what? If I think we might want them in order, let's keep them in order. So we're going to say text equals file.read text. Then, oh yeah, text equals, I don't know what on earth I'm doing. Okay, assert length of text is, I don't know, greater than 15 or something. I don't want it processing blank files. And space in text and text dot count e is greater than, I don't know, 3 or something. If there's something that violates all of those things, then I would at least like to take a look at it before I just proceed. So we don't need that. Doc equals NLP text. Inter equals, for token in doc, if token.position doesn't equal space and token.text.lower does not equal token.text.upper. In other words, if it contains letters. Do we want to do it that way? How about and re.match pattern is so it has to start with and end with and be composed of only apostrophe lowercase a to z and capital A to z. That's it. That's all that I want. And that's going to be token.text. If it's lower, then we don't need that. But it is allowed to have one of those. Do I want it to have a hyphen? Well, if it wants a hyphen, then I guess I should let it. Personally, I find hyphens annoying, but whatever. Okay, for x and enter if xify does not equal punctuation. I think that'll be taken care of, but whatever. For r in result, all positions dot add, no, all of this no. So file name, right, it's not called file name, it's called JSON pair file name. And we are going to write the result. And moreover, we're going to break after the first one so that we can see what it did. Print wrote file, and then we're going to say JSON pair file name. Let's see what it did before we proceed. This should give us things in order, and then from that, if we want to generate counts, we can do things. But also, if we want to find out relative positions of parts of speech, we can work on that too. So it didn't load anything. It's not .raw stories. Oh, that was my fault. Okay, open in Explorer. Okay, that's a lot of sirens. Well, as long as they're not coming for me. Okay. Did what we told it to, that's the problem. Okay, we got quite a few stories here. Okay, wrote story. Oh, good, they're in alphabetical order. So story 9, it's that one. A. See, this is why we check it. In a busy city, there was a tall building reaching to the clouds. What on earth happened to new raw stories? Okay, so result equals x for x and enter if x of I equals... Oh my god. Well, that would do it. Okay, let's try that again. That's why you check it first. You've got to check it first. All right, story. Oh, good, it was right. There was a curious girl named Lily who always asked why she explored nature and asked trees how they grew. There was a curious girl named Lily who always asked why. Period. She explored nature and asked trees how they grew so high. One day she found a locked door and wondered what was inside. She used her key to unlock it and discovered a magical world full of surprises. Oh, how cute. Starting to wonder if I'm making a mistake not outputting the punctuation. I guess I could filter it later, but usually I only care about the individual words. I can filter it. I can filter it later if I don't want it. So let's to new raw stories. So okay, now we don't want forced white space, but I think that this was a mistake. Yeah. Okay, let's see what it looks like if we do that. Now it shouldn't take very long to process. Just it takes a while to load the natural language processing library, but to actually run it goes pretty fast. Well, I mean for stories of this size. If you're doing entire books, obviously it goes slower. Okay, in a charming small town, comma, everybody knew each other and loved to say hello. Period. Okay, you know what that is? That honestly, that's probably better, because that gives me something that I can actually go through and interpret and see where the sentence boundaries are. So let's remove this and run our cool idempotent little application here. It'll be fun. Okay. Oh my goodness. I knew it'd be fast. I didn't realize it'd be that fast. Okay. Okay. In a sunny park, comma, a little girl found a magical paintbrush. All right. So, what I would like to do is I would like to take these parts of speech and generate a curriculum from these stories, favoring things that are more common based on my snippet word frequency that I have here. So I don't know if I just want it to like exponentially decay or something. If I want to partition it. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay. Probably the first thing that I need to do is enumerate these. So let's see what the progress is here. Scratchpad, run. Did it finish? Add parts of speech to new raw stories. Where I should have another execution though, right? OpenAI micro stories should be running. Is it not running? Add parts of speech to new raw stories. Maybe it already finished. So what? Let me see how many that is. Do I already have the? Oh, that's not what I want. Let's see how many are in here. 386. So divided by 2, that's 198. Which sounds right. I think I vetoed about 2, probably exactly 2. And I made minor modifications to a few other ones, but they would still be represented in the count. So that looks pretty good. Now, what we need to do is we need to load each of these stories, and we need to figure out which ones to administer. And I'd like to do that with CUDA if I could. Hopefully, I can figure out how to do that. So I'm going to be depending on external library and ChatGPT's help. So hopefully, that's not offensive to anybody. Okay, so let's see what all of our parts of speech are first. So we want a new Python file, and we're going to say generate curriculum from new stories, because I have old stories. Okay, import JSON, and then we're going to want the words. So with open, what am I doing? Correct. Snippet word frequency.json. We're going to say json.load. JSON.load file. Okay. Words. JSON equals that. Then print. I don't know what this is going to be. I have a feeling this is going to be gigantic. So. Oh man, that lag is terrible. So let's see what this does. The and of. Okay, so it's an array. So if I go like this, that should be the first item of the array, right? Ah, cool. I'm suddenly tempted to just leave these counts exactly the way that they are. That wasn't what I was intending to do. But that might make more sense than like rank. What if I did like natural log? What is natural log of this? Not logging. Import math.log. And then we'll compare it with like 2. Okay, that's good. Honestly, the word the probably should be prioritized quite a bit. So we are going to say words equals A, comma B, comma C. No, this should be a dictionary. A, comma B, comma C, and then it should have a value. We'll say words value equals log of V for A, B, C, comma, V in words.json. Let's just see what that does. Print words.value. I don't know, pop or something. Okay, show me Pop expected at least one argument, got 0. Sorry. Dot items 0. All right. Is not subscriptable. I really am starting to get annoyed. Okay. Just show me a datum, please. Determiner the 15. That looks good. Excuse me. That looks good to me. So what we need to do is, I suppose these will have to have an index. We'll have index count equals 0, and then we'll have def get index global index count, and then return. Well, we'll do index count plus equals 1, and then return index count minus 1, I guess. I'm not going to say this very often, but that's one thing that's more convenient in like Java or C#, is you can do the plus inline. So, all right. So words value, and then words index equals k comma get index for k in words value, and then we're going to say words from index equals value comma k, no, not comma, for k comma value in words value, in words index dot items. Okay, so we're this should have a class. This is messy. All right. Okay, so words score equals this, and then words last administration. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Convert this set of matching dictionaries to be a class structure. To convert the given list of matching dictionaries into a class structure in Python, you can define a class that encapsulates the functionality and data of the existing code. That is correct. That is correct. Words.value, words. That is not what I meant. I want a single dictionary of words. I want a class which defines the keys, the value, the index, not the from index, the score, and the last administration. Instead of having a bunch of different dictionaries. It'd just be easier to have rewritten it myself. All right, cool. Okay. So self.word tuple, self.value equals log value, self.index equals word.index counter. I like that. Word index counter plus equals 1. Self.score equals 0, and self.last administration equals 0. Class word data. What's it doing here? Oh, okay, I see. Word. Does this work? Does this work? I need to know if this works. That's much better than what I wrote. All right. Okay. Sample word value, sample word dot value, sample word dot index. Let's just see if it runs as it is. Absolutely nothing. Sample word tuple. Well, there is no word 1, word 2, word 3. So we want to grab it. I don't know. Determiner the lemma. All right, value 15, index 0, and get word sample. Go to declaration. Easy enough. Words.get word tuple. Okay, so we should be able to for word data dot what is it? Get word dot words dot keys for k in print. Okay, so we should be able to get a list of. I have no idea why it's lagging like this. This is infuriating. It's like, why do I even have a fast computer? All right, so Northbrook, harpsichords. You have to understand, these are sorted by frequency. So this is the stuff at the absolute bottom of the list. So obviously these are not going to be very common. Yeah. Then we want word data dot words of k, and let's see what it prints out. Oh my god. Just give me the primitives, please. My life is over. Okay, we're going to say W equals word data words of k, right? And then I want all of this stuff. All right. Print. And then instead of self, it'll be, I should start at the bottom so it doesn't get in my way. Don't want that. Wonder if I could delete this with the regex faster. Probably not faster since it's only a few lines. All right. I'm going to start with K. And then when we're done, we'll have some sort of like a divider or something. And then CNT equals 0. And CNT plus equals 1. If CNT is greater than, I don't know, 100, then break. Okay, so word tuple. value, index, score, and last administration. Which makes sense. We haven't administered anything yet. Maybe we want the last administration to be -1. No, we could just have last administration start at 1. That's fine. Yeah, or we could make last administration -1, and then it's clear that it's never been administered. All right. And score can be -1, meaning that no exposure to the word has been demonstrated thus far. Now we need some sort of a scoring metric. I feel like I'm reinventing the wheel. I've done this like half a dozen times. So we want to maximize the number of reviewed words, and then okay. Well, here's what we need. Is in date. If we want the Fibonacci sequence, right? 1, 2. Yeah, I mean this is I've done this exact thing before. This is I'm reinventing the wheel. This is kind of annoying. Okay. Can I just put it here and have it be static? I think so. So, if self.score is less than 0 or self.last administration is less than 0, then return false. Is new false. So if it's not new, then we need to figure out if it's in date. And we're going to do that by looking at the Fibonacci sequence. So if self.score is greater than or equal to the length of word.fib, then it's always in date. Because, I mean, how could it fall out of date? I don't think people are going to be using this program until they die. That's not the way that it works. So, otherwise, in date until equals self.last administration plus word.Fibonacci sequence of self.score. Yeah, now, this needs a administration time. So, if administration time is strictly lesser than in date until, then return true. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Else return false. Now, I'm going to say is severely delinquent. And it's going to be almost exactly the same, except this is going to be if length of score plus 2 Does that make sense? I'm not sure that makes sense. Oh well, whatever. Okay, in date until self.last administration plus, and then this is going to be plus 2. So if it's severely out of date, if it's severely delinquent, then we need to reset its score back to 1, I guess. Okay, so we are going to administer, right? And then it's going to have an administration time. So self.last administered is going to be equal to administration time. Full stop. No debate there. And then self.score, this is going to depend. If self dot is severely delinquent for administration time, if that's true, then self.score is going to be, it should go down. Is self.score -3, and it can't drop below 1. Does that sound good? No, it can't drop below 0. Else I guess we just didn't increase it by 1. I don't want to do some weird thing where I'm like, oh, if we administered it too recently, then we're not going to do anything. But it has to have been at least one cycle. That way we can't accidentally increase it more than once inside of the same prompt. So else if self.last administration, oh crap. If self.last administration is strictly less than administration time, then self.score plus equals 1. To do, consider not allowing leveling up too fast. I don't think so, because what words would level up too fast? Like the, and, of, and honestly, you're going to learn those pretty quick anyway, and more importantly, they're going to keep appearing. So, yeah, I mean, maybe if we do it for a rare word, it really could be a problem, but we got to do the 80-20 rule. So, if self.last administration is less than administration time, then self.score plus equals 1. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't even like this. So yeah, is in date. So let us, I guess the first thing we should do is we should see if there's any words that don't appear at all. And if there are, then that maybe that's a problem. So here, let me close the other tabs here. Close other tabs. What was that called? We called it add parts of speech to new raw stories, right? And this is what we want right here. We don't need any of this. So list all files in directory, import OS, import time. Wait, we don't need the timeout. no timeouts here. If it ends with JSON. So, for file in list all files in directory with open file read as file JSON dot load file my object, and then for x in my object, let's see what it does. Print x, and then here we're gonna exit. I just want to see what the data is. Oh yeah, it looks exactly right. You know what? I think this is fine. I think we can just ignore things that are not in our curriculum, and it's fine. So, current story is going to be a set, and then this is going to be a comma b comma c, like that. And then we want x comma y comma z to equal a comma b comma c. And we're going to say if x comma y comma z in word data. Wait. Why are you angry? In word data dot word dot words dot, where is it? I accessed the keys above somehow. Self.words. Oh, we have to instantiate a word data instance. So word data dot, that makes sense. Word data dot keys, I don't think you need that. Then in that case, then we say current story dot add XYZ. Now let's see what our current story looks like if we do it this way. Okay, together, one, happy, there, noticed, friends, everyone. Okay, so what we would like to do is we would like to be able to get a score for a current story. So we're going to have something called like, I don't know, all stories equals. We better have the file name or else it's going to be useless. Okay, we'll do a dictionary, I guess. Wasn't how I was going to do it, but whatever. And then we'll say all stories of file equals current story. Okay, then we have all of our stories there, and they should be indexable. Now, what we need is we need word data to be able to return a score. So def get score, and it should take an iterable. We'll just call it words, just whatever. I don't care what type it is. And this should generate a score based on the values and the in date. So we're going to say in date value equals, no, it needs to be much, much higher. What was it? Yeah, we'll say like 10 or something. So needed value is 10. And then it's the value of everything put together. Probably that's all that we need. Because the stories are simple enough. Now, if we had really, really complicated stories, then we probably wouldn't want to do that. But theoretically, all of the stories should be pretty simple to understand. That's the idea. So we're going to say needed score equals 10. We're going to say for total equals 0, and then for W in words. And we're going to I really hate this. Okay, W equals get. This is so cumbersome. Get word of current word. And then what can we do with that? We should be able to is there a is new? All right. If W dot is new. Okay. Print get dot get score of current story, and then we need to return total. If we run this once, then the auto population should work properly. Okay, everything comes out 0, but now it should know what the objects are, hopefully. Or not. Okay, so now if it is new, well, no matter what, we're going to say t tot plus equals W dot just dot value, I guess. And then I think that we should limit new words. I mean, maybe not a lot, but just if W dot is new. Oh. Maybe we'd like keep the total number of new words and then we deduct that at the end. So we say new word count equals 0 because we do want to introduce new words, but we just don't want it to be like too out of control. So if it is new, then new word count plus equals 1. Total plus equals W dot value, and then if it's severely delinquent, if W dot is, if it's in date and it's not, then in that case we're going to say new word count, no, total plus equals needed value. And if it's severely delinquent, then it's a lost cause. And that was very hard for me to accept because, like, no, I never want anything to expire, and that's ridiculous. That's not what language acquisition is. So now, if new word count is greater than 0, then I think we should just say tot minus equals. I think the more new words that there are, the lower the score should be. How are we going to do that? Like that. So, yeah, if there's if there's 25 new words, then it's going to be very low. But if there's 3 new words, then it's not that big of a deal. And we're going to administer everything anyway, so if this starts just absolutely blowing up and making things super low, well, then everything's going to be relative. And it'll focus on the thing with the least number of words. So I don't think that that's a problem. All right. Print total. No, don't print total. Just return the total. And then we will see what this does. These are all going to be crazy low. Word dot is in date, required 1 missing. Administration time. Oh, that is true. Administration time. Right there, right there. Is that it? Okay, we want the get score, current story, administration time 0. Now the very first one is going to be extremely low, but it will favor something that has very low number of new words. So wow, this is pretty good here. Now, things can get severely out of date, but they still won't be counted as new again. So now what we want to do is we want to choose the story that has the best score and then repeat the scoring algorithm and then administer the stories and then see excuse me, see how many things are in date at the end of that. So, and theoretically, that should be what a student knows at the end of studying those stories. Now, obviously, a student isn't necessarily going to have perfect retention, but, you know, maybe like 80%. So, let's do this. So, while length of all stories is greater than 0, admin equals 0. So, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a story and then we're going to administer the story. So best and best value equals nothing and I don't know, negative infinity. Is that not defined? Okay, so as low as possible. Now we're going to say for k, comma, what goes in the right? Words. In all stories dot items, and we want to get the score for the current administration. So word data dot get score of words for administration. Current score equals that. If current score is greater than the best value, then best comma best value equals key comma current score. So this should choose a best story. Now at the end we want to actually administer it. So this is going to be somewhat simple to get, similar to get score, but we want to actually administer it. And I think that we have administration up above. So administer, administration time. Yeah, we already defined this. So this should be really easy. It's just going to be for w.administer at administration time. All right. So I'm curious what the score is going to be. So we're going to say print best score so that I know best value. And let's see what it does. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. So yeah, we're going to all stories dot remove. I don't think that's how you do it. I think it's all delete all stories of best. Did we administer? Where's the administration? Word data dot administer. I don't think we need to fetch it again. Let's fetch it again. So all stories of best. I'm hoping that that number improves. Word.administer missing one required positional argument administration time. Yeah, obviously if admin did not increase, then that would be bad. So we're going to say admin equals 0. And we're going to say print admin f administered prompts. Run. It starts getting low and then it gets bad again. You know what? I think I overdid it with the yeah. What is 1.1 times, or not times, to the 10th power? Yeah, let's do 1.6. It can still get really large, but not as large. That was a little bit ridiculous. All right. And then at the end, we want to know how many words are in data. It's amazing how it took that big dip right at the end. Okay. Yeah, maybe just because of the timing, it just expired. So, administered prompts, and then we want to say words in date equals 0. And then we're going to say for w in word data dot words dot keys. Well, let's just do values. If w dot is in date for administration time, then words in date plus equals 1, print words in date, and how many things should the student know at the end? Student should know 2024, we're calling it words, but really it's parts of speech, because one word can have different parts of speech. And what was that? So that's at the end of 0? 0? That does not sound right. Plus equals 1. How did this end up going low if I wasn't administering admin? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, there's 40 things in date at the end of 193 administered prompts. That doesn't sound right either. Well, this is frustrating. Best value, best value. Only 40? Like, really? Is that because my administration starts too low? Like, give it a chance here. Okay, 239, it's still too low. That's way too low. How many total words even are there? Okay, so all words for all stories. Okay, we're just going to say all story words equals set. And then we're going to say all story words dot update current story, and then print all story. We don't need to do that. No. Length of all story words. That's what I want to know. How many? How many are there? There's 2,024 story words. There is no way that there should only be 239. Something is wrong here. So administer. What does administer do? If it's severely delinquent, then it decreases the score. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe it shouldn't decrease the score that much. It should simply not increase the score. How about that? So you have to repeat the current interval if it becomes severely delinquent. Otherwise, you get to increase your level. I bet that would make a pretty radical difference. Still not that much. I think it's implementing these words, and then it's not it's just not repeating them. Maybe there's too much variability. Maybe I need more stories. Well, I mean, obviously, at the end of more administered prompts, it's going to be doing better. Yeah, but I wonder if I can cap it out at like 200. Well, let's see it. Let's see. Generate OpenAI stories. Not here. Could understand. File mask. Write a 4 to 6 line story that a second grader could understand. Let's just say a 4-line story that a third grader could understand. Avoid starting with once upon a time. So, let's run this again. I refuse to believe that after hundreds and hundreds of administrations, a student's only going to know a couple hundred words. That's just too depressing. And again, maybe these aren't formulated right. Well, this is going to take too long. I'll probably make a follow-up video. So, see ya.